My name is Matthew, and I've spent more than 10 years watching CMMS administrators struggle to get good descriptions on their work orders. At this point, there should be a Nobel Prize for the person who can consistently get quality information from both requesters and their technicians. Because somehow, no matter how expensive the CMMS is, how much training you've done, or how many times you've explained what you want, you still end up with descriptions like broken, doesn't work, please fix, or the gold standard, same problem as last time. And naturally, the first reaction is usually, why can't these people just give me a decent description? But if the same bad information keeps showing up over and over again, maybe the problem isn't just the people entering it. Maybe the system is helping create it. So today we're going to talk about the very first thing most people enter on a work order: the description and the additional information field. What should go in them, what should stay the hell out of them, and how to get better information without making someone feel like they just clicked begin your annual mandatory compliance training. Estimated time 47 minutes. And stay until the end because I've got a bonus for you. The reason your work order descriptions suck so hard is because the way you're asking for them sucks so hard. Description. That's it? That's the instruction? You give somebody a blank box labeled description, then act shocked when they type broken, fix, problem, same as before. What did you expect? A diagnostic report? Before you can complain about bad descriptions, you have to define what a good description actually looks like. For me, the description is the title of the work order. It should tell me what needs attention quickly enough that I can scan a list of work orders and know what each one is about without opening a single one. So, sink is garbage. Sink leaking under faucet is useful. AC broken tells me almost nothing. Conference room not cooling tells me what someone is actually experiencing. And don't turn the description into a junk drawer for every other field in the CMMS. If you already have a set of location fields for campus, building, floor, room, area, or whatever makes sense for your organization, I don't need all of that stuffed into the description too. If you have an asset grid, use it. If you have priority, requester, and work order type fields, let those fields do their damn jobs. Every field should have a purpose. Your location fields tell me where. Asset tells me what equipment. Priority tells me how urgent. Description tells me what's happening. Here's the test. If you pulled up a list of 25 work orders right now, could you tell them apart just by reading the descriptions? If half of the list says broken, fix, problem, annual PM, same as before, then your description field isn't giving you information. It's giving you ransom notes. And this is exactly how you end up with dirty data like we talked about in this video right here. But a title can't carry the whole story. That's where the additional information field comes in. Think of it as the details. If your description says conference room not cooling like we said before, then your additional information should add something useful. Maybe room gets warm every afternoon around 2. Thermostat is set to 72 but reads 79. That helps. What doesn't help is this. The description says conference room is not cooling. The additional information says the conference room is not cooling. That's the CMMS version of uploading your resume to a job application site and then being told to type the whole damn thing over again. We already have that information. Give me something new. This is where you want the person entering the work order to tell you what they're actually seeing, hearing, smelling, or noticing. Does it happen all the time? Only when the equipment starts? Only after lunch? Is there water on the floor? Is something making a noise that sounds expensive? Those details can help the technician show up with a much better idea of what they're walking into. But don't turn additional information into the junk drawer either. Additional information is one of those field names that sound useful until you actually ask yourself, what the hell does it mean? Additional information about what? The problem? The weather? My feelings? If your CMMS allows you to rename the field, rename it. Maybe it becomes, what else should maintenance know? Or what are you seeing or noticing? Or whatever wording makes sense for your organization. And if the system supports tooltips, pop-up instructions, or examples, use them. Something as simple as, tell us when the problem happens, what you observe, and anything else that may help maintenance troubleshoot it. That's better than assuming everyone remembers the training class they took 8 months ago while they were playing Candy Crush under the table. And this goes back to something we talked about during implementation. Your CMMS configuration is not written in stone. If people keep misunderstanding a field, change it, rename it, clarify it, add an example, remove instructions that aren't helping. The database is not going to file a grievance. You can watch that episode here. Description is the title. Additional information gives me the details. And if the details are just repeating the title, we haven't added information. We've added typing. But even after you define what belongs in these fields, rename them, add instructions, and make everything painfully obvious, people are still going to surprise you. That's okay, because bad information is still telling you a story. If one person enters broken as the description, maybe that person just didn't care that day. But if 40 people enter broken, stop blaming 40 people. Look at your field. Maybe the instructions aren't clear. Maybe you're asking for something they don't understand. Maybe the process takes too long. Or maybe everybody has figured out that typing broken is the fastest way to make your stupid form go away. People follow the path of least resistance, and your users are constantly testing your CMMS configuration. They just don't know they're doing it. Blank fields tell you something. People consistently putting information in the wrong field tells you something. Technicians developing their own shorthand tells you something. And if Carl, Donna from accounting, 3 electricians, and the night shift plumber all independently find the same ridiculous workaround, they probably didn't hold a secret meeting behind your back. Your workflow showed them the exit. So watch what people actually do. Don't just sit in the administrator chair and decide what they should be doing. And when you see a pattern, adjust. Sometimes that means changing the instructions. Sometimes it means renaming the field. Sometimes it means deciding you never needed the damn field in the first place. And sometimes, if your CMMS supports it, you can block descriptions you already know are useless. If broken keeps showing up, add it to the prohibited list. At that point, the CMMS gets to become the bouncer. Broken? Not tonight, Chief. Try again. What? You didn't know your CMMS could do that? Then you need to watch this video right here, because we already talked about how most organizations are barely scratching the surface of what their CMMS can actually do. But be careful here, because a bad answer does not automatically create a good answer. If the user types broken, the system rejects it, and you haven't explained what you actually want, you know what you're getting next? Broken 1. Congratulations, your data quality initiative has defeated the human spirit. So use validation after you've made the right answer reasonably easy to provide, because the goal isn't to trap people until they finally type something your CMMS accepts. The goal is to help them give you useful information with as little friction as possible. And when the information still comes in wrong, pay attention, because your bad data may be telling you more about your CMMS than it is about your users. Your configuration isn't finished. It's being tested every single day by the people who actually have to use the darn thing. Some CMMS platforms give you another field that works alongside description. It's named something ridiculous like category. This is not the same thing as work order type. Think of category more like a way to group the kind of problem being reported. Electrical, plumbing, HVAC, moving furniture, life safety, and that can be useful. But before you turn it on and make everyone pick one, ask the question we're going to keep asking throughout this series. How will this help me make future decisions? If you're going to report on it, route work by it, automate something with it, or use it to make a decision later, great. If the answer is, well, the CMMS came with the field, congratulations, you just found another way to make people click something. That's not a strategy. And here's where category can get stupid in a hurry. Let's say somebody reports the automatic flushing urinal is not working. Now you require them to pick a category. Plumbing, electrical, Is it the sensor, the battery, the solenoid, the valve, the water supply? How the hell is Donna from accounting supposed to know? She knows the urinal isn't flushing. That's something useful. If your category field requires the requester to diagnose the problem before maintenance even gets there, you're not collecting data. You're collecting guesses. So maybe the requester enters what they actually know. The automatic flushing urinal is not working. Therefore, somebody in maintenance who understands the problem can classify it later. And now we have another question. Who owns that category field? Maybe the requester can suggest the category. Maybe maintenance assigns the final one. Maybe a supervisor or administrator corrects it. But once somebody knowledgeable has corrected it, what stops another user from changing it back? If your administrator changes the work order from plumbing to electrical, and 3 days later somebody edits the work order and changes it back to plumbing, congratulations. Your category field is now a community art project. So if this field matters enough that you're going to report on it, think about who can create it, who can change it, and whether the system can lock it in after a certain point. And then ask one more question. Is the category actually giving me information I don't already have? If work order type, asset class, skill, department, or another field already answers the same question, maybe category is redundant. Remember the economy of clicks. Every dropdown you add is a tiny tax on every work order. Make sure somebody is getting something useful for that money. Because if category is important enough to drive decisions, you should control it. And if it's not important enough to control, why the hell are you making everybody click it anyways? A good category field can turn free text descriptions into useful, reportable groups. A bad one just gives broken a dropdown buddy. This week, open your CMMS and look at your description and additional information fields like you've never seen them before in your life. Do the labels actually tell people what you want? Are you asking for information you already collect somewhere else? And if people keep entering garbage, is the problem really them, or is it your form helping create it? Fix one thing. If this helped, hit like and subscribe, and check out this video YouTube picked for you right here. Next time, we're talking work order types, what they should do and what they absolutely should not do, and why most of you probably have too many. Remember, I'm Matthew. This is the SaaSy Guy, where every work order tells a story.